Hello, I'm Chris, otherwise known as Noir Vortex Online, YouTube channel. Uh, Today I'm going to be talking about the game I've just completed called Jinni, which I've completed along with the co-developer Harvey's. Not here, he's in Manchester, but that's not really here to hear me yabber about social life. So Jinni is an idea that was spawned a year ago in August actually, so just under a year in Manchester, Wally Range. I lived with Mr. Harvey Demigod himself. His nickname he likes to go by is Demigod. Would you believe it? Whereas mine is Gertist. There's a long, elaborate Urban Dictionary history for that if you want to look into it. The Jinni is a sandbox open world game, kind of medium-sized world. I kind of wanted to take an approach. This is going to sound a bit pretentious, possibly, but I wanted to take the same way that Terry Gilliam takes an approach to filmmaking. I wanted to take that same approach to games design. That is, be ambitious. Be ambitious and be visionary as much as you can do. I guess that was my aim with this project, and I think I've achieved it. I need to. There isn't a very iterative release due. Just got to do some freelance work over the weekend. So, but yeah, after that, the final bug testing and fixing process will be. Oh, my paint just fell down. I'm going to go into that. It's very raw at the minute. Not just my painting actually. No more. Say no more. Okay, Jinni. Sorry, you're not coming in to me and ramble about my personal life. Okay, so there's 4 elemental tribes in the game: fire, water, air, earth, all based on the traditional elements. So the game takes concepts that come from mythology, specifically Islamic mythology. Obviously, going into doing that can be potentially quite a charged thing to do because of politics, really. But all I've done is basically taken the concept within Islam of Jinni, who are like fire spirits. They're like genies, really. So they're kind of like I'm not an Islamic scholar, obviously, so I can't go that deep into it. But Jinni are essentially elemental spirits, and I've taken that very rough concept. Me and Harvey took both of us took that world concept and translated it into a futuristic world. So you start the game and you are given a briefing. You work for some kind of shadowy organisation. That bit isn't quite kind of revealed. If there's a sequel, it probably will be elaborated on that. If there is a sequel as well, I imagine we'll probably do it with Unreal Engine. We built the game with Game Guru, which has been mixed experience, mostly positive in terms of ease of use. And to be fair, they've fixed a hell of a lot of stuff with the DirectX update now, DirectX 11 update. So this is not a diss video. This is actually, if anything, it's quite a nod to the Game Guru team. You've used a lot of community assets to design the actual world. The terrain building took about 2-3 months. I've put a lot of effort into that in terms of the terrain design. Everything's closed off. You've got large open areas, towns, similar in some respects to games like Skyrim you probably would have played before. It's an indie game. It's available for £3, so the link will be below. Buy it, check it out. If you buy it, you've got access to any updates that come, patches which are in the pipeline, as I said. I'd say it's an ambitious game. Only real fixes I have to do still in a minute is like combat balance. So there's some combat balance issues to be fixed still. I'm very happy with the graphics. I'll just go do an analysis like of my own work and Harvey's work as well. Very happy with the world. I took a lot of time. I was extremely anal about tweaking all the visuals and just making sure that it was just right and mixing, getting what I had in my head, the vision in my head, into reality. I've taken into account how players would think in a level, I suppose, which I've taken that a lot into account during the process of the game's design. And there's a dialogue system, so I mean it's very familiar to if you've played action RPGs. And the narrative elements were developed. I had a friend Diana come around and do a play test. I had Harvey do a play test. I've done hours and hours and hours and hours of play testing myself. And the main thing that came out of the first bit of play testing with Diana was narrative elements. And since she was a writer, that was useful as well, obviously, because she could give that perspective. So I did add that in. Where I've added it in is more having like characters who give you snippets of information, and you've got to kind of connect the dots, as it were. There's one main quest in the game which revolves around a reconnaissance spacecraft that's gone down with data, basically. So yeah, like I said, the game mixes futuristic and mythological concepts. It's a game that kind of hopefully transcends those kind of ideas. I mean, fantasy obviously as a genre is well, I suppose appealed to me because well, the sky's the limit as far as your imagination can go. Something that would probably be analogous to would be Dune, possibly. So Dune by Frank Herbert, which is a brilliant novel. I've never managed to read all of it. I love the David Lynch film, and I've read quite a fair bit of the book. But yeah, and that's basically like a mythological, futuristic world, which also I think is somewhat informed by Islamic mythology. Like I said previously as well, like I've been very careful how I dealt with the subject matter. I'm not going to put anything provocative in there because it would just be pointless and just stupid, really, I think. So I don't want to do anything like that. I've made kind of semi-provocative titles in the past, like Kill Stalins, but I mean, not so much of a provocative title, really. I mean, who wouldn't want to kill one of the worst dictators in all history and clones of that said dictator, if one had the chance, maybe, in a virtual setting. So yeah, check it out, download it, tell me what you think, tell the team what you think. This is the main project released on Siren Design, which is like a games design, web design co-working group that I've set up. Really, 2 or 3 of us on there now, so starting to get things together for that. And yeah, I'm going to leave that here. I am very tired. I need some sleep. I'm lacking sleep a bit at the minute. Such is the life of YouTubers sometimes, I suppose. I've been Chris. Thank you for listening, and yeah, I guess this is the last Jinni vlog probably. So.